Good morning, everyone. Happy hump day. It's Wednesday, July 24th. Prices of BTC currently at 9,631. And it seems like the bleed cannot just stop, right? So what are we doing? What are we looking at the markets? And where do we see this bleed stopping? Okay, so let's get to it, folks. All right. So yesterday I spoke about potentially this move coming out of the C wave right here, which is the white right here, okay? And we could have a 1, 2, big 3 right here, right? However, just because I drew these lines doesn't mean it has to come out like that. I'm saying that that's a general sketch of what could potentially happen, all right? And it still actually may happen if, BTC comes and bounces somewhere around, I don't know, $96, $9,500 or so, which is, again, the 786 fib. That's a pretty deep retracement on the wave 2, but hey, Bitcoin has surprised many times, right? But here's the thing, okay? So if you're not longing in this market, or if you're not spot buying, you're probably either sitting on the sidelines, which maybe you should, and most of my community and myself are, or we're shorting, okay? And here's a nice little short trade setup that I had yesterday. Closed out nice, on Deribit 100x leverage. Again, I don't recommend Deribit and their 100x leverage, but if you have enough available equity to be able to hold your position before the funding starts eating into your account, it's a great way of making some really easy profit. And I didn't want to show my entire position because I don't feel like it, honestly. There's been plenty of times where I've showed it before, so I don't care to be totally transparent other than to my community. So anyway, point is that I opened a short right around, I would say this area right here. I think it was like 98 something, 98.70 or something around here, when prices were just finishing off in this big bearish engulfing candle right here. And the reason, I'll explain you the reason, okay? So the reason I actually did that, right? So what I was expecting is, first of all, here's something interesting, right? After this trend line right here held and it bounced off here, came back around, broke through finally, and then it tested it as resistance, and then broke down. I was hoping at the very least what would happen is this smaller structure right here is definitely bearish. Okay, why? Because it's using this trend line as resistance. It's consistently creating lower highs, right? So from here it's a lower high, from here it's a lower high, even this one right here is a lower high, and this is another lower high. Okay, so all those lower highs are giving me confidence that at the very least, this is not going to last. All right, this bounce right here. But I figured, okay, if I'm wrong, how wrong am I going to be? So what I stated was, I want to see this bullish candle follow up another bullish candle, because again, this yellow gold box right here bounces off some key levels. Okay, it bounces off this support, and this resistance. And if prices come down to this level and they just hold there, all right, and they don't bounce off kind of like this implies that there is more selling happening than we can sort of understand. Okay, so clearly the bears are under control over here. All right, and one of the ways I was able to gauge that is by this bearish engulfing candle after this bullish one right here. And right around, I don't know, maybe 15-30 seconds before the ending of this candle, I actually bought in right around here. Okay, and then I shorted all the way over here, and I closed my position. I wanted to hold it all the way down here. And again, if you are thinking about shorting, not that I advise you to short or anything, but this would be a good position to short too. And your stop would probably have to be up here, unfortunately. Okay, or you could wait for the prices to sort of retrace back up a little bit and then short to this level. Okay, $9,100 or so. Right? I think that's very possible in my opinion, especially the way the market is bleeding right now. The fact that this area did not hold leads me to believe that 9,100 or 9,000 flat will be the next level. Okay. Now And we're gonna have to change our wave count if obviously this happens, because that would imply that wave 2 is basically stretched almost to the beginning of wave 1. And if that kind of happens, this wave count will be eliminated, and what that will really create is something like this, which is like that. It might go down to this level, which is about $8,700 or so. Okay, so let's see how that matches up on the daily. Okay, so here's the daily chart again, right? Seems like a lot of selling is happening. The last 1, 2, 3, 4 days, well, 3.5, because we have another 12 hours to go in this candle, have just been monstrous selling. Okay, and I don't think it's going to stop, at least for another day or two, unless we test another critical support. So at the very least, we'll bounce off this $9,100 area right here, or we dig in deeper into the consolidation right here, which was anywhere between $7,500 to about $8,700. Okay, and that is stated by this big purple box right here. Okay, it's all this big consolidation box that we could be bouncing off of. Let me sort of change this. Actually, yeah. Another thing that I did want to point out though is this volume right here. It still keeps declining, and this is really interesting because typically when you're about to sell off even harder, you want to see volume pick up. I guess you could make the argument that it's slowly picking up from here, but it's really not, you know. It's, I don't know, overall from like this top to this bottom, I think to any, you know, layman, it's visible that this thing it's going down like that, like, you know, like this arrow I pointed. So it kind of leads me to believe that, you know, at the very least, wherever the selling stops, that should be the final wave where hopefully bulls step it up and pick up the prices. But the fact that there's really no strong volume coming in, it still just brings it into this big consolidation. You know, this is really a big regular flat correction. Just, it looks literally exactly like what I showed you guys yesterday, you know, the regular flat. Let me see if I can pull it up over here. Again, folks, if you don't know what this is our Discord community. This is where all the magic happens. All the locked channels that you see are for our Advantage members, our paying members. Right here, if you go to cryptosomniac.com, hit products, okay, Cryptosomniac Advantage, you can buy that right here and you get access to our community. So even if you don't want to sit flat on your hands with your capital, you can come short with us, or you can make some quick in and out trades too, which we often do. All right, so here's that regular flat that I was showing you. The A wave contains three inside waves, the B contains 3 inside waves, and the C contains 5, you know, mini corrective waves. Okay, so here's that A, B, and C. See, 3, 3, 5. Right? So what we're really experiencing is the potential ending of C and the beginning of a new 5-wave impulse. Again, that's potentially, right? For all I know, this is a completely wrong count, and this just goes down like this. And also, it could actually be valid, that the regular flat correction could be valid until the point C, but it doesn't take into account the selling intensity that's happening following up to C. Okay, so the fact that C went up to, you know, this 11,000 level recently, right, but then finally pulled back down again, this shows you that there's definitely a lot of selling involved right now, and I don't know if it's going to stop anytime soon. So let's see exactly, you know, how the daily EMAs look. Okay, let me pull this up. I'll go over EOS in a little bit. I'll go over some other altcoins in a little bit too. Let's see. Oh, maybe it's this chart right here. All right, let's turn on this chart right here. I'm gonna turn off this volume real quick and hide this. So remember yesterday that we went over the pivots and all the critical moving averages that are essentially in the way. Actually, let me first go to 4-hour, and I want to show you guys those two EMAs, 50 and 200, and see what those are doing. Okay, here's the 50 and 200 on the 4-hour chart. Remember that this was critical in the movement up in Bitcoin, and now that they've essentially crossed bearishly, you could see that they're separating and widening their movement. Okay, the red is the 200, the gold is the 50 EMA. Okay, so both these EMAs right here have bear crossed. Price is under the 4-hour pivot. Now potentially it's going to head towards the S1, which is about $9,400 on the 4-hour. Okay, now let's see how the daily looks. Okay, here's the daily too. Daily does not look good as of right now. Okay, so I'm going to turn this off and this off. I'm going to turn on this 21 EMA, this 30 EMA, and I'm going to turn on this 50, this 100, and 200. Okay, and the pivots. All right, so remember when we went over this a few days ago, I stated that we need at least 1 to 2 daily candles closing above this pivot and above these 21 and 30 EMAs. Here's something else interesting that's happening. We broke past this blue moving average, which is the 50, which is very critical, typically, through the entire bull run in 2017. And also the 21 and 30 EMAs right here are now about to cross right here in a bear cross. So we're under the pivot, we're under the 50, we're about to have a bear cross on the 21 and 30 EMA. The 30 is the white, the 21 is the black. And if you don't know the significance of these two EMAs, look back here all the way in March, maybe even February. All these EMAs were trending up, especially the 21 and the 30, and price would every time come close to it and bounce off, come close to it and bounce off. Over here, touched the 30 multiple times and bounced off. So now we are under it, something that we haven't done in a long time. Actually, the last time we did it was in December 2018. Okay, so this, as of right now, is not the best sign. Okay, and so with that, our community is prepared and sitting on the sidelines with the majority of our cash, or we're just shorting. Right? We don't provide financial advice or anything, but we do know how to trade markets that are moving up and down. And through this entire time, folks, I know I've been getting this criticism of, why are you still bullish? Why are you still bullish? Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen the structure change. I don't know what you want me to say, right? Like the fact that, we had a high, a lower high, and then a low and a lower low. This actually happens in the consolidations of bull flags. Like, you can literally Google this. Okay, let's Google it for you, because everyone is so lazy to sort of bull flag pattern, right? So let's do that. Okay, here's a image of a bull flag. Let's pick, check this out. Okay, here's the bull flag: high, lower, low, lower, low. It actually went even deeper, so, and this is Forex right here. Okay, so that's a bull flag right there. I mean, let's see this one right here: high, low, lower, high, lower, low. Right, another Forex chart. Okay, so these are traditional markets that are showing you this, right? I mean, let's see. Okay, this is the S&P chart. Look at this, bull flag: high, high, low, lower, high, lower, low. Okay, and then the target becomes this. So what I'm trying to say, folks, is, it's hard to sort of ignore that pattern that I showed you earlier, which is this big sort of bull flag, because that's exactly what it is. All right, now I get it. The market is turning a little bit more, and it could spell a little bit more bearish downside ahead. Yes, I fully understand that, and this is why I am trading that position in the market, as my community knows, which is mostly sitting out in cash. Right? So me saying something on YouTube videos and telling you like I'm still bullish doesn't mean I'm 100% in Bitcoin and watching my account bleed. All right, I think you have the wrong idea of what we do in our community. Okay, we're trading the accounts actively. We're trading the accounts on how they're moving, not how we project them to move. Okay, so with that being said, we could potentially bounce off that 9100 or 9000 area. Okay, so from here you could short it down there, so that's one of your options, or you could long it if you think there's going to be that double bottom scenario. All right, remember, it could just be like this, bounce, boom, right? I don't know if that's going to happen, but hey, it happened right here, right? Prices came down, moved to this low right here, about 7,400, moved up, double bottomed, and boom, up and away. But the fact that we've kind of broken through some critical moving averages as well as below the pivot, this is where things get a little scary. I wouldn't really count for a double bottom per se, but at the very least, I would count for a small bounce that may happen at 9,100 or 9,000. Okay, now let's go to the weekly chart. Okay, this is where also things get a little interesting. I'm gonna pull up a different, cleaner chart right here. I hope you guys are doing well with your accounts. I hope you're making wise decisions. If you're not, come join the Cryptosomniac community, folks. We're doing a lot of analysis, a lot of important information that we provide to our community. You can see, we provide tons of updates, tons of analyses, and even over here, we have different charts mocked up just so we can be prepared for what lies ahead. Okay, I have this bear versus bull case. People tell me that, hey, have you seen these people on YouTube showing that Bitcoin could go lower? Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Like, I did this last month, before Bitcoin was even turning back around, right? Because I am prepared for these situations. I was doing this when we were in a fully bullish stage. Why? Because it's important to stay prepared, right? You always have to map out your possibilities. Okay, so I did this chart when people were aggressively bullish, because I realized when people are aggressively bullish, some garbage like this happens, okay? Or some garbage like this, right? This could be a possibility, folks. Do not count it out. But with that being said, we are prepared. I did this middle of June right here. June 26th, Bitcoin topped at 13,900. I did this 3 days before when Bitcoin was at 11,000, all right? So, yes, we are prepared in our community, all right? Anyway, let's get to that weekly chart. Okay, so here's that weekly chart. And here's, again, something interesting that I pointed out yesterday, which was, if you are looking for truly the safe points to get in, the best thing you could do is wait above 11.6, 11.7 on a weekly close, which would be above this white box, all right, on a weekly close, right? Not just a daily candle spiking through with this, wick that's being left on the weekly, but on a weekly close. You could, if you want, wait to see if prices are going to stop at the close of above 9,600 on the weekly right here. Okay, so if you think that prices are just going to hover in this little white box like this, then that's your prerogative. Okay, I'm going to wait and see exactly what this weekly candle shows. Now, I'll tell you one thing. If this weekly right here closes below, this is not a good sign. Okay, at the very least, I'll tell you honestly, we're gonna go down a bit further, probably close at 9,000, and at the very worst, the follow-up the follow-up bearish candle could take us down maybe to $8,700. Okay, I'll be completely frank with you. All right, this is how the market structure looks right now. Okay, this is definitely not the best market structure. I was hoping that this candle right here 2 weeks ago would at least close a bit higher, which would sort of give us maybe a double top, but wouldn't have confirmed it. But the fact that this candle right here is showing you so much selling happening, not a good sign. Okay, so again, you could wait below 9,600 on the weekly, or you could wait above 11.6 on the weekly. All right, Now let's check out a very critical moving average on the weekly that has been very important to us. Okay. Here is the 21 EMA. All right. If we look back on the bull market all the way over here in 2015, you could see once we broke past it, that was support, 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 all the way up into the bull market of 2016 and 2017. Okay, that 21 EMA is very important for BTC. All right, so now what do we see? Okay, well, we're seeing the price bleed down for Bitcoin on the weekly. All right, so currently the 21 EMA is right around $8,100 or so. Okay, so if in the next week or maybe even 2 weeks we bleed down, we could catch this moving average right around maybe $8,400–$8,500, which just so happens to be right around the middle of this consolidation period right here that happened on the weekly. Okay, so that is another big possibility. Now on the daily, okay, that I think coincides with the 100 moving average on the daily right here, which again, this lines up on the next few days around $8,600–$8,700. All right, 100 moving average on the daily has been just as crucial in terms of supporting price action or resisting it in the bull and bear markets of 2015, 16, and 17, and also resisting the price in 2018. So if that happens, we could potentially bounce off the 100 moving average on the daily or the 21 weekly moving average right there. So those are the two markers that you could keep in mind. Throw it up on your own chart. All right, guys, do the technicals, do the hard work on your own. Okay, take a hold of charting and technicals on your own, so you don't have to rely on random people on Twitter telling you we're going up or down, or forcing you to make mistakes. All right, because most likely these people don't know what the heck they're doing anyway. So anyway, 100 moving average right here on the daily, keep an eye on it, and 21 moving average, actually 21 EMA on the weekly. All right, let's see what else we got to cover. We did have a break outside this trend line. I already talked about that a little bit. I talked about the bull and bear cases. You could probably look this up on your own if you go to Cryptosomniac page right here. Just look up the bear versus bull case for Bitcoin. It's posted on June 23rd. Let's see. I posted this other chart, which is also public, in which I believe that we've seen many runs right here of 35–40% pullbacks before big moves to the upside, which again could be very possible. Right? Let me see if we can pull that chart up, because I wanted to show you guys firsthand how that looks. Okay. Let's see what this chart is cracking on the weekly. Could be over here. That's not it. Okay, here's cracking on the weekly. All right, so at present moment, okay, we are down in Bitcoin about 31%. Okay, so if we bleed a bit more towards the the number that I spoke about on the 21 EMA right here. All right, where'd it go? Over here, which is around 81–8200, or that daily moving average that I told you of 100, right? That could be around 84–8500. So if we just take average of those two, let's see over here, let's just pin it at 8500. Okay, this marker, that's about a 38% drop on the weekly time scale on Bitcoin. Okay, and what I was trying to show you is look through the history of Bitcoin on its big bull run up. Look how many times it's done a negative 30% pullback, and it's done it once right there, twice right there, 3 times right there, 4 times right there, 5, 6, 7 times. Okay, so it's done it 7 times. All right, to pull back 30% or lower and then keep on moving up. So that's a very high possibility, right? That Bitcoin could pull back another 5 to 10% from current prices all the way into where this consolidation happened, also to meet that weekly 21 moving average maybe in the next week or two, and then bounce up and away. All right, so till then you could sit out, you could short, you have options, you could wait. All right, anyway folks, you could do this research on your own. We're always available here in the Cryptosomniac community. Another thing that Advantage membership guarantees you is this kind of analysis, giving you unbiased opinions. At least, for the most of the day, Jordan and myself basically cover almost 16 to 18 hours of the 24-hour cycle. All right. And we love trading, we love investing, and more importantly, we love our community. We love teaching. We love explaining to people exactly, why one decision is better than the other. Again, at the end of the day, you pull the trigger, but we help you evaluate those reasonings, right? So if you don't have a community like that and you have someone who's constantly shilling you bad information, they just don't understand exactly where prices are going or don't know how to read markets, come to our community where we have a combined experience of 16 years between Jordan and myself, and we've been trading all kinds of markets, commodities, forex, futures, options, equities markets, and crypto since 2016. All right, folks, enough ranting and raving about Cryptosomniac. Come join the Advantage program or buy the technical analysis course right here. All right, and if you do buy that, message me and I will give you 7 free days in the Advantage membership, which is all these locked channels right here that you see. Okay, that's all I have. Take care, and again, have a wonderful day, and don't fall victim, folks, to the people who are telling you, to constantly keep making mistakes or showing you bad opinions. All right, just be careful. Take care and have a good one.